Democratic showdown. Former Vice President Joe Biden taking center stage, coming face to face with Senator Bernie Sanders and Democratic challengers in their first major test in the race for president. Also tonight, that horrific shark attack. An American college student killed by 3 sharks while snorkeling off the Bahamas. Her mother just a few feet away when it happened. The extreme heat warning. 3 hot car deaths involving children in the same state just this week. The East bracing for the first heat wave of the season. The deadly crash landing. A passenger shooting video as it happens. The plane skidding off the runway, slamming into a building, erupting in smoke and flames. Break in the case? That college student missing in Utah, last seen on this surveillance video. Police now searching the home of a person of interest. The potential clue discovered on Facebook. Parents punished. An update on that Little League brawl. Police now identifying the mothers and fathers slugging it out on a ball field, what they're now facing. And amazing rescue. The teenager spotting a toddler in danger, catching her before she hits the sidewalk. Tonight, the hero and child reunited.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
And good evening. It's great to have you with us on a busy Thursday night. I'm Tom Yamas, in for David. And we begin tonight with round 2 of the Democratic debate. The second wave of 10 candidates taking the stage in Miami. Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders front and center. The former vice president and early frontrunner will be tested in the national spotlight. Senator Bernie Sanders standing at his side. Polls show him in second place. Also on stage tonight, Senator Kamala Harris, who has already gone after Biden on both race and criminal justice issues. No one mentioning Joe Biden's name in round 1 of the debate. That likely will not be the case tonight. ABC's Mary Bruce is in Miami to lead us off.
Joe Biden arriving at the debate site. Tonight, all eyes on him.
Mr. Vice President, are you ready for tonight?
I think so.
What's the strategy?
We'll see.
Inside, Biden checked out where he'll be standing at center stage. Flanked by 9 of his opponents, the early frontrunner will be the night's prime target.
Mr. Vice President, if your opponents come after you, what's the plan? Will you fight back?
Hug him.
Hug them? Kill them with kindness?
Nice to see you.
Running second in the polls, Bernie Sanders is expected to draw sharp contrasts with Biden. Outside of Miami today, Sanders swarmed by reporters during a visit to a facility for unaccompanied migrant children.
Senator Sanders, what is your message to your opponents on immigration tonight?
If I tell you, you'll tell them.
Tonight, the stakes are also high for Pete Buttigieg. The 37-year-old mayor of South Bend, Indiana, burst onto the scene, but has been sidelined dealing with a racially charged police shooting in his hometown. This debate now a chance for him to reset.
How's the prep going?
It's a good day for a debate.
Other candidates like Senator Kamala Harris looking to jumpstart their campaigns. Last night, former San Antonio Mayor Julian Castro had his breakout moment, giving a passionate response to that gut-wrenching photo from the border.
Watching that image of Oscar and his daughter Valeria is heartbreaking. It should also piss us all off.
Front and center in round 1, Senator Elizabeth Warren outlined her vision for the top issue facing voters.
Healthcare is a basic human right, and I will fight for basic human rights.
And Mary Bruce joins us now from Miami. Mary, last night, millions watching, at least one person watching from overseas, President Trump, who clearly did not like what he was seeing.
Yeah, Tom, the president was watching, but he was clearly unimpressed, tweeting just a one-word response: boring. Now, earlier today, he touched down in Japan for the G20, so he has a jam-packed schedule and won't be able to watch tonight's debate live, but I'm told he will be paying close attention. Tom?
Mary Bruce for us tonight in Miami. Mary, thank you. Next tonight, we have new reporting on the deadly shark attack off the Bahamas. Authorities believe an American college student was attacked by 3 sharks while on vacation with her family. Her mother just a few feet away when it happened. The family says the attack was so fast, there was no time to warn her. ABC's Victor Oquendo is in the Bahamas.
Tonight, officials in the Bahamas are warning the public to be on alert for sharks after a family snorkeling trip turned deadly. It happened around 2 p.m. Wednesday off Rose Island, just northeast of Nassau. 21-year-old Jordan Lindsay, a college student from California, on a snorkeling expedition with the Sandy Toes Tour Company. Her mom just a few feet away when authorities say she was attacked by 3 sharks. Jordan bitten multiple times, her arm torn off. You can see a shark in this photo taken by another tourist in the same area 45 minutes before the attack. Shark attacks are rare. 3 sharks attacking one person almost unheard of.
For them to have so many sharks at once, it really kind of makes me wonder what was happening. It was a case of wrong place at the wrong time, or potentially, the sharks were attracted in somehow, potentially by a dive operator, who knows.
Sharks are protected here in the Bahamas. Not only are they important to the ecosystem, but to the economy as well, drawing more than $100 million annually from the diving industry. Jordan's father telling ABC News, "Jordan was such a great daughter in person. We already miss her terribly." Her death marks the first fatal shark attack in the area in nearly a decade. Tiffany Johnson from North Carolina lost part of her arm to a shark while snorkeling here in 2017. Tom, everyone is being urged to exercise extreme caution and report any shark sightings. That's Rose Island right behind us where that deadly attack took place. Jordan Lindsay's family has been meeting with officials across Nassau as they work to bring her back home to California. Tom?
Victor Oquendo reporting from Nassau tonight for us. Victor, thank you. Back here at home and the extreme heat dangers heading into the weekend. Authorities in Texas reporting 3 hot car deaths involving children in the last 7 days. Police say a 1-year-old child was left in a car for about 5 hours near Galveston. The east on the brink of its first heat wave of the season. Let's get right over to ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano. Rob, good evening.
Good evening, Tom. We've nearly hit 90 now 2 days in a row. Philly, you've done it twice. DC 3 times. So you're in the heat wave, and here it is. Looks like it's going to extend right into the weekend. We do have some severe thunderstorms popping tonight across the Midwest, a threat for a tornado in Montana, and a strong squall line moving through Wisconsin. Green Bay, Milwaukee getting clipped. Chicago might get hit as well. That'll cool you off temporarily, but the heat and humidity only build for the eastern half of the country into the weekend. Tom?
Rob, thank you. Now to a possible major break in the search for that missing student in Utah. Vanishing after taking a ride share from the airport. Police questioning a person of interest searching his home. What authorities discovered inside. Here's ABC's Clayton Sandell.
Tonight, a 10-day-old case that seemed to go cold now heating up. Detectives serving search warrants Wednesday in the case of missing 23-year-old college senior Mackenzie Lueck, carrying out bags of evidence just 5 miles from the park where Lueck was dropped off, meeting someone at 3 a.m., then vanishing.
No arrests have been made. However, the owner of the residence where we served the warrant last night is a person of interest.
Police say over the weekend someone gave away a mattress and a box spring at that residence, and someone with the homeowner's name posted this online ad giving away a mattress and a box spring for free.
We ask those who took those mattresses or box springs to please contact the Salt Lake City Police Department.
Investigators now scouring her digital footprint, including cell phones, texting, and dating apps, while her worried family waits.
We thank Clayton for that report. We head overseas now to the deadly emergency landing on a Siberian runway. Take a look at this. A pilot and a flight mechanic, they were killed when the passenger plane skidded onto the grass, bursting into flames. Russian state news reporting nearly 24 people injured, a passenger recording the frightening moments from inside the cabin. ABC's David Curley covers aviation for us.
The Russian airline says tonight this was an emergency landing going bad, all caught on cell phone. The plane running off the runway onto the grass, not slowing down, its tires shredding and then crashing into a building. One of the pilots and a mechanic were killed. Russian state news agencies reporting 22 of the 43 passengers were injured in the crash and fire. The twin-engine plane was landing at an airport in Siberia, the impact crushing the nose of the AN-24 aircraft, a mainstay in the Russian commercial fleet. Russian authorities suggesting engine failure contributed to the crash. This is the second highly visible and deadly crash in Russia in 2 months. In early May, a Russian jetliner crashed at a Moscow airport, killing 41 on board, including an American. Of the 22 who were injured in today's incident, 15 were able to walk away. 7 were taken to the hospital. Tom?
David Curley on that deadly crash tonight. All right, David, thank you. Back in the U.S. and the Supreme Court delivering 2 decisions today, including a major blow to the Trump administration. Chief Justice John Roberts, the deciding factor, blocking the White House from adding a citizenship question to the 2020 census. President Trump calling the decision, quote, totally ridiculous, and now threatening to delay the census. ABC senior national correspondent Terry Moran is at the Supreme Court.
Tonight, President Trump's already fighting back against the Supreme Court census decision, tweeting from Japan, I have asked the lawyers if they can delay the census, no matter how long, until the United States Supreme Court is given additional information. The Trump administration was planning to add a question to the 2020 census asking every person living in the U.S., are you a citizen?
Can you imagine you send out a census and you're not allowed to say whether or not a person's an American citizen?
But the Census Bureau itself estimated that millions of people, mostly minorities, would decline to answer that question and go uncounted, a crucial issue since the census is used to decide how many seats each state gets in the House of Representatives and how federal spending is distributed. Chief Justice John Roberts joining the 4 liberal justices hammering the administration's claim offered by Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross that they added the question only to help enforce the Voting Rights Act. Roberts calling that contrived and a distraction, writing, "The evidence tells a story that does not match the explanation the secretary gave for his decision." That stinging rebuke announced after Roberts sided with his conservative colleagues, ruling that federal courts do not have the power to intervene and stop even the most extreme forms of partisan gerrymandering. Lawmakers in several states have been using census data to draw congressional districts for openly partisan reasons, as one legislator admitted in North Carolina.
I propose that we draw the maps to give a partisan advantage to 10 Republicans and 3 Democrats, because I do not believe it's possible to draw a map with 11 Republicans and 2 Democrats.
Justice Elena Kagan today with an emotional dissent, writing, "If left unchecked, gerrymanders may irreparably damage our system of government."
As for President Trump's call to delay the census, that'll be tough. Congress sets the schedule. They'd have to vote to change it. The logistics are daunting. And while the court said it's willing to consider another version of this case, the clock is ticking. Tom?
Terry Moran for us tonight. Terry, thank you. Next tonight to news about President Trump's latest accuser, the 17th woman to come forward. Writer E. Jean Carroll claiming she was sexually assaulted by the president in the 90s. 2 friends, including a former news anchor, now sharing the moment she confided in them about. Here's ABC's David Wright.
2 longtime friends of writer E. Jean Carroll now say she called them shortly after Donald Trump allegedly assaulted her in a dressing room at Bergdorf Goodman in the mid-1990s.
The minute I was in there, he shut the door and pushed me up against the wall and bang, banged my head on the wall and kissed me. It was so shocking.
Carroll says that it got even worse and that she told 2 friends at the time. Today, both came forward, joining her for an interview with the New York Times. Lisa Birnbach, best-selling author of the Preppy Handbook, says Carroll called her immediately after she left Bergdorf's.
I remember her saying repeatedly, "He pulled down my tights."
Birnbach says in the moment, Carroll laughed it off.
And I said, "What? He raped you?"
Oh.
And you said, he kept pulling down, he pulled down my tights, he pulled down my tights.
Birnbach says she tried to convince Carroll to call the cops right away.
It was horrible, we fought. And I said, "Let's go to the police." "No." "Come to my house." "No, I want to go home."
Right.
"I'll take you to the police." "No." It was 15 minutes of my life, it's over. Don't ever tell anybody, I just had to tell you.
A few days later, E. Jean Carroll called another friend, veteran news anchor Carol Martin.
From what I could sense of you, you were handling it as you handle things.
Her advice, very different from Birnbach's.
I said, don't tell anybody. I wouldn't tell anybody this.
And Carol didn't, until now, when she describes the alleged sexual assault in graphic detail in her new book. The president dismisses her claims, telling The Hill, "I'll say it with great respect. Number 1, she's not my type. Number 2, it never happened." Carol has been attacked by skeptics. Even now, she doesn't use the word rape to describe what happened to her, saying today it was an episode, it was a fight, not a crime. Her 2 friends say they're coming forward now to back her up. Tom?
David, thank you. Now to the humanitarian crisis at the border. Late today, the House voting in favor of the Senate's $4.6 billion emergency aid package. Speaker Nancy Pelosi reluctantly supporting the bill, hoping to rush resources to migrant children in government holding facilities right now before Congress goes on break. Many Democrats, though, angry some money will fund ICE. Pelosi telling her party, quote, "The children come first." And there's still much more ahead of World News Tonight this Thursday. Parents' punishment, what we've just learned about that baseball brawl that got national attention at a Little League game. Moms and dads headed to court to face charges. Plus, the amazing rescue caught on camera. The